Alright, let's watch it. Is it so wrong to just want attractive characters? Yes. Yes.
And all of this is why I just do not understand why some developers keep getting it wrong. It really feels so simple. Yes, give us great gameplay, fun mechanics, a interesting and meaningful story, but then layer attractive, pretty characters on top of that to create hype around the game, grab our interest, and hold our attention. All of this just makes for a much more enjoyable experience. So this video is kind of related to my very first video about women in games, but before we get into it, we have to acknowledge everybody that is subscribed to the channel. Wow,
That's you
honestly,
guys.
I don't really even know what to say. This has been such a overwhelming week in the best way, but thank you. Thank you to every single one of you for all of the comments and messages and just all of the support. Now, let's talk about hot characters.
Chad, I have a question. Would you still watch me if my... Wait, I have to move. Hold on. I'm covering her. It's not good. Chat, if my model wasn't bombastic, would you still watch me? Like if I had an ugly fat model? No. Yeah, you're such a liar. You are a liar and you should feel bad.
I've always found it very interesting when I see some gamers say, I don't care what my character looks like, I just want a good game. And while, sure, I believe some people probably do feel that way, when you actually look around at what's successful and what's not, what resonates and what...
True, man. She's so cute. I forget her name. I just started Expedition 33. I only played like an hour, unfortunately, before I had to go fucking do chores. But... Oh my god. She's hot too. She's got the foot thing. Yeah, Mayel. Loon is the one with the bare feet. All the foot bros love her.
Doesn't the idea that visuals don't matter, it doesn't really hold up. The second you start digging into this stuff, it's pretty clear. Visuals play a huge role in whether something hits or flops. And if they didn't, cosmetics probably wouldn't be one of the most profitable parts of the entire gaming industry. The truth is, I think most of us do care.
Sylvanas in Warcraft 3 was not a very pretty model until they gave her the model where she turns into like a proper fucking banshee. Yeah, where they basically refined a model that is akin to this, and everybody finally fell in love with like characters. And that's why Blood Elves came to the Horde, by the way. The Horde would not have Blood Elves if they didn't have that massive incentive to have people playing Blood Elves. The Horde was the ugly character race. Or, like, faction. Yeah. Yeah, she's the original waifu. Absolutely.
Even if it's subconsciously. And this isn't just a gaming thing, but for whatever reason, the gaming industry seems especially confused about it. Because books, anime, movies, shows... we care about how the characters look. True. We always have. Now, just to be clear, an attractive character cannot save bad writing or bad gameplay. A great design won't make a boring game fun, and eye candy is totally pointless if there's zero substance to back it up. And on the opposite side, it's not like a game is necessarily doomed if the characters are uninspired or unattractive. But let's be honest, we have been done dirty quite a few times at this point. But
I just feel like I can't really relate to a character that, or look at a character that is extremely ugly for the majority of a story exposition, because I'm having to look at the character a lot. Like, again, Arthur Morgan, fucking, oh god, man, I can't believe this. John Marston. John Marston is an ugly but still attractive character because he's a fit cowboy guy. Geralt is very attractive too. You're centered around one character. It just kind of like, you don't really want to play the game if they're really ugly. Only Kratos? Kratos isn't ugly. He's a big buff dude. What do you mean? He's not ugly.
When it does work, when you combine great writing, a solid gameplay, and a compelling visual design, that's really when the secret sauce hits. And that's when a character truly becomes iconic. Man. So, how important is beauty really? What can
oh my god, yes!
it actually be used for in storytelling, and why does it matter at all? Yes, beauty is completely subjective, but let's try.
Chad, she talked about this chick last time, right?
And figure it out together. When it comes to storytelling, beauty isn't just about looking good, it's about what that beauty communicates. It's a kind of visual shorthand for personality, purpose, or the emotional tone of a character. Take Cortana from Halo. She's sleek, luminous.
Oh my god. Again, she's not super revealing. You just see her under boobies and that's it. Mwah, chef's kiss.
And kind of untouchable. Her ethereal design isn't random. It reinforces her role as an AI. She's attractive, mysterious, highly advanced, but also just slightly out of reach.
Why would you make an AI that's unattractive? Why would you do that? If you have the ability to create a character, why would you not make it attractive? Make it make sense. Why the fuck would you ever do that?
Aerith from Final Fantasy. She's beautiful in this really soft, gentle way. Her design radiates hope and warmth, and you feel that when she's on screen. There's something very delicate and endearing about her that sticks with you. Then there's Eve from Stellar Blade, and yeah, people definitely noticed her design pretty much immediately. She's bold, striking, and yes.
And she's based on an actual South Korean model, man.
Super hot. But what's cool is that once the game launched, the gameplay actually backed it up. And okay, can we talk about Verso from Clair Obscur for a second? Because he is undeniably very handsome. The white hair.
Bitches love rugged men. Point proven with John Marston, with Arthur Morgan, all those characters. Geralt. Yeah, they love rugged men. Yep. People are into silver foxes. It's not even about that. It's more that silver foxes don't necessarily have to be rugged or like older. Well, silver foxes do, but I'm just saying that not every game has to have silver foxes. Yeah. Unless bitches are on the pill, keck. What is that supposed to mean? What? So I have a chance then? Yes, absolutely. As long as you're pretty, though.
The posture, the somber expression, he's restrained, haunted, and you immediately feel like there's something deeper going on.
And again, it feeds into the I can fix him mentality that women and men have. Am I wrong? Like, I can fix him mentality, but with this, yeah.
These characters aren't designed to just be pretty. They're designed with intention. Their looks are part of their emotional blueprint, and the fact that they're attractive is what actually initially draws you in. Their looks tell you how to feel before a single line of dialogue. As humans, we are biologically wired to respond to beauty, and that's not a bad thing. So when a character's design feels off, or it doesn't match the story we're being told, that disconnect can make it way harder to emotionally connect.
You can even have an analogy towards advertising of food. Why do they take so much time out of their day to make Big Macs look really, really good on screen, but when you get it at the store, it looks disgusting and it's sloppily put together and it looks nothing like the ad? Because it fucking sells. It's the same principle. Your visuals get stimulated, and you're like, oh shit, I gotta go to McDonald's, give me my 10th Big Mac today, right? Yeah, and it looks like someone elbow bombed it in real life. Yeah, or they like squirted too much of the sauce, right? Attractive people are food now? No! I mean, yes, kind of.
And this kind of visual storytelling has been around for ages. This is nothing new, and it's not just in games, it's everywhere, especially in film. Taking a look at Lord of the Rings, think about Aragorn. Rugged, attractive, weathered, and quietly noble. His entire look reflects the burden that he carries, and you can...
Chat, how many of you played like a fantasy game? Like, for example, World of Warcraft, or there's a game where you can customize a character, and you tried to make it look like either Aragorn or Legolas. Or Sean Bean, the other guy. Yeah. Boromir. Yeah, human male warrior? Absolutely, 100%. I make them all look abominations? Okay, well, you're weird. No, I'm kidding. But WoW is Varian, but they killed him? Yes, but Varian, I feel like, was also based on Aragorn in a very, what is it called? In a very loose way. That's some fan behavior. No, when you're a little kid, you don't have the concept of, like, being a fan or being a simp towards a strong male character. I don't think it's about being like a fan. I think that's it's something that men don't really grow out of, as well as women. They have to look you're either playing a really hot chick or a Giga Chad. There's no in between, I feel like, unless you're a weirdo and you make freaks in your video games. There's 2 types of men: human male warrior players and dwarf pilled Giga Chads. Yes, actually true. I have a friend that only plays dwarves, male dwarves.
See the weight of his past just by looking at him. Then there's Eowyn and Arwen, 2 beautiful women with so totally different vibes. One is a warrior with conviction, the other is a very soft, ethereal queen. And their looks...
And she's a girl boss too, chat, keep that in mind.
...reflect who they are at their core. And that's what good design does. It supports the story. Alright, switching tones completely here, but I have to talk about my love for the Mummy series very quickly. Because Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz weren't just very fun, flirty, iconic characters. They were extremely captivating. Their chemistry was off the charts, and they were both ridiculously attractive, okay? But their beauty didn't just decorate the film, it amplified it. The adventure they were on, the romance, the danger. I actually love this series so much. I used to work at the Mummy roller coaster at Universal, and I may or may not have hearing loss in my one ear, thanks to Brendan Fraser screaming for his coffee at the end of the ride. Just a little bit of NPC lore for you. So if we know that beauty helps tell the story, what about when it's entirely in the player's hands? Let's talk about character customization and the literal billions being spent on it. Video game cosmetics are a multi-billion-dollar industry. In fact, Media Research projects that purely cosmetic in-game purchases will reach $100 billion a year by 2028.
In 3 years, 100 billion, man. Nah, that's foul. And you wanna know why? Because people want it. Why do kids buy dresses for their dolls so they look cute and adorable and they have fun with it? Adults are no different. They just develop into adults and they just transition into being sexual, man. Why do you think Eve's most popular outfit is when her tits are like almost out?
That sink in for a second.
Yep.
$100 billion a year for making your character look nice. Listen, alright, I am not ashamed that I myself played a part in this pretty recently. I hadn't touched Fortnite in like 7 or 8 years, but I randomly started playing duos again over the last few months, and pretty much right after I did, I saw none other than Spike Spiegel and Faye Valentine in the shop.
No way, what? Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I was buying up those V-Bucks pretty much immediately.
Yeah, swiping.
It was just the idea of getting to play as some of the characters I love so much in a game that I've unironically been having a ton of fun with. It was almost like I had no choice here. Quick side note, Faye Valentine definitely goes on our list of amazing female characters, for sure. And I must confess, I also purchased the Sabrina Carpenter skin.
Of course you did.
Her dress was just so pretty. Now on the flip side, the opposite is true too. When characters...
She's a normie girl. She's just a different variant, chat. She's just a different variant. I bought the Hatsune Miku skin even though I've only played Fortnite for like 2 hours or like 4 hours, okay? I respect it. I respect it. I cannot talk. I bought the Hatsune Miku skin.
Design fails to resonate, players clock it immediately. This is very old news at this point, but I always think about Concord. This was really the first time, at least.
And I love how they all kind of blend in. The only guy that stands out is like maybe this guy a little bit with his jacket and the stupid shoulder pads, man. Yo, Juicy White Meat, thank you for the 25. Why is your name Juicy White Meat? I feel gross reading that out. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm telling you, man, this ugly ass jacket ruins it all. And like, why does his skin blend into his jacket? What's going on?
For me, that I had seen so much public backlash about character design. And for Concord, yeah, it kind of seems like this was one of the biggest reasons that it flopped. People...
Daw looks like a walking trash can. Do you know what Daw unironically reminds me of? The Doom guy, but like fat and just lumpy. Yeah. Why are they frowning? I would be frowning too if I was a big fat woman in a suit. I'm not gonna lie. I would be very much frowning as well. What's to smile about? You probably have diabetes. Doom Guy X Michelin Tire Man. Wait, that's actually good because of the... Why did they add bumps in here? Why did they make the armor lumpier? Shouldn't armor be more like into your body? Why did they make her so lumpy?
People did
lumpy
not
space princess.
Like the characters. They felt awkward, uninspired, off-putting, forced. In a market full of games where the character designs are intended to be inherently beautiful, bold, attractive, Concord's cast kind of looked like they were built by a committee just to check boxes. And then there's Starfield. This game was supposed to...
I mean, to be fair, Bethesda's not very known for making extremely attractive characters. Look at this one, I love it.
To be massive, story-rich, world-expanding, but on top of just so-so gameplay, the one thing I kept seeing over and over again was how unappealing, bland-looking, and emotionally empty the NPCs felt. They didn't...
I mean, they were always like that, to be fair. Ask me how I know. I have like thousands of hours in Fallout.
Draw you in or match the tone of the world. For the most part, they were just generic copy-paste that you didn't really want to engage with. Another game that comes to mind that I've mentioned before is Star Wars Outlaws. Unfortunately, both good gameplay and good character design were amiss here. And there were even moments where Kay Vess didn't look quite human.
I don't think her design was terrible, more so her dialogue and the game itself. Yeah, the dialogue for her was written by an AI. Her hair's bad. I know there's characters out there like Ripley from Alien that has this haircut and she's not ugly. I've never thought that Ripley was ugly. Yeah. Her hair is 80s as hell. Yeah, so there's characters that are like that. I just think that it probably didn't translate very well with the engine and they didn't take care of like the face in different scenes. Like this is terrible. This and this are nothing alike. Like why are her eyes look like she's fucking taking a hit of a bong and like her eyes look glassy?
Which is very wild because her actress is so stunning. The blueprint was right.
Wait, no, you know what? I think wait, hold on, she's cooking. They changed her face shape. They made her more angular. I mean, it's not a 1-to-1 angle, but like, I feel like they kind of angled it more. Yeah, just a smidge. You can tell she's got a very oval shape and she's a little bit like that.
Blueprint was right there.
Yeah, I don't know. She looks like a beautiful Latina.
But for some reason, I guess they couldn't make a character design that did her justice. And the disconnect across all of these examples is important to note because it's not just about realism, it's about relatability. Games are probably the biggest storytelling medium, and a character's design should invite you into the story. People want to feel something when they look at a character. Excitement.
Yeah, I want to feel a tightness in my pants. Am I right, fellas?
And admiration, curiosity. And when what you're looking at feels flat, awkward, or overly ordinary, like someone you just passed by on the street, it breaks the fantasy. And that desire for your character to look attractive and appealing, it starts even before the actual game begins. Take Baldur's Gate 3, for example. According to Larian, players collectively spent over 8,000 years just in the character creator. That's like...
I totally believe that because with mods, this shit goes crazy. I saw a TikTok, I got onto the female TikTok algorithm for Baldur's Gate for like a little bit, and there was a woman that made it her entire life to create the perfect Tav and giving people the ability to like copy her character styles, like for males and females too. I spent 3.5 hours on my first character without mods. Yeah, I think it took me around about 1.5 hours to 2 hours. Yeah, you just spend so much time looking at a pretty character and stuff.
16% of the game's total playtime.
Holy.
Before even starting the game. And yes, I did contribute to that. Because to me, character aesthetics are just part of the immersion. They're part of what makes an incredible game. They help me feel more emotionally anchored in the world and make for a way more enjoyable experience. And this goes for both male and female characters alike. Even in Red Dead Redemption 2, I loved getting to change Arthur's hair, his beard, and outfits, and I'm just so glad.
And I like the part where his beard grows when you don't don't groom it for a while, and then you go back to the barber and you can do whatever you want with it too. And what blows my mind is there were so many clothes you could make and buy from the game store. Like there's not the game store outside of it, but like there's a store in the game in the, what is it called, in the South. And you can buy clothes, and you can also make them and have them as trophies and shit. It's awesome. Most people don't really care for it, but the fact that they put that in just shows that they really, really cared.
We got to do that because I really felt like I could reflect where he was at mentally and emotionally. That small touch made him feel a lot more real. Now, switching gears for a quick moment, bear with me here, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and out myself for a second. I love a good romantasy book. Yes, I know, but before you roll your eyes and you click off the video, please just hear me out. This genre includes some of the best-selling books on the market. You maybe have heard of series like Throne of Glass or ACOTAR, and the character—
Yeah, white women love books, man. Book talk. TikTok has thrown its algorithm at me, and I've always swiped over it because I'm not really interested, but it is definitely a massive, massive market.
In these stories are described with this enchanted, ethereal kind of beauty. It's dramatic, it's swoony, it's meant to sweep you off your feet, and that's part of the fantasy. It's part of the immersion. There's even—
Yeah, and then they pork the girl, and then it's like, oh my god, I wish it was me.
One fan favorite image of a certain ACOTAR character that went viral, and for many fans, that's basically canon now. Godspeed to whatever casting director has to find that guy in the real world. They will come for you. The exact same thing happens in anime and animation. Sometimes—
That's the difficult part about animation specifically, because finding people that look really close to what you imagine in a visual novel or a visual style like this, you cannot really adapt it that well. Like, you're never gonna find a guy that looks like Gojo. You're not. You just realistically, you're not, man. You're gonna have to do something about it, and that's why people get so disappointed with live-action adaptations of characters. Like, how the fuck are you gonna find a guy that looks like Goku? The guy has massive black hair, and he's ripped as fuck. And he's fucking yells a lot. Like, what? Not without makeup? Even without makeup, like, how are you gonna find someone?
Even more intensely. These characters are designed from the ground up to be visually appealing. Their looks are exaggerated, idealized, sometimes maybe a little too much, but we love them for it. And there's a reason that certain characters dominate cosplay every con season, or why fans fight over who's best girl or best boy with genuine passion. Even in the VTuber space,
Fujoshi. Okay, I didn't expect that. That's why you motherfrickers were telling me to watch this. I was about to talk about him. Every Fujoshi loves this, and then you... Okay, I'll let her talk.
Fight over who's best girl or best boy with genuine passion. Even in the VTuber space, visual design is everything. And there's a reason VTubers put so much effort into their appearance, and people can completely fall in love with them before they ever even hear their...
I mean, I don't hate the glazing. I'm not hating the glazing or nothing, you know? I'm very humbled, okay? I'm humbled, okay? I do think that Akagi did an amazing job, okay? It's not me. I didn't make the design. I just asked for it, okay? Frostfire Fox design? I'm just a little bit, you know, I'm humbled.
Voice, the look, the aesthetic, the vibe,
True.
All is meant to draw people in. The design is the hook. All of this is so important because when a character looks the way they're supposed to feel, that's when the magic happens. That's when people get protective. That's when a fandom really forms. Piggybacking off of
True, and also the fact that I've been told so many times, like, Alana, I don't think I'd watch you if you didn't have a hot model. I do think that's pretty very valid to say. I know people don't like admitting it, but I do think that there's a grain of truth to it, man. People would very likely not watch me as much I'd probably still watch. I'm not saying there's some that wouldn't, but I'm just saying I think it's okay for people to be that critical and be like, oh, well, you know, SmugAlana's model isn't what it used to be. I'm gonna probably not watch her anymore.
Of all of that, I'd like to touch on something very quickly that gets brought up a lot in conversations like this. And that's the idea that it's just gamers that are the ones who care way too much about a character's appearance. That it's just gamers who have this problem. Like the second someone doesn't like a design, it's suddenly gamers are just toxic and you just need to get over it.
And it's always about men. It's not. Well, if you talk about this kind of thing as a woman and you say that it's not a good design or that it's ugly, it's like, oh, well, you're just saying that because you're a pick-me. You don't actually mean what you mean. I don't think so. It's not true for everyone, but the model's a big part of it. Why do you think VTubers make such a huge deal out of new outfits and designs and stuff? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I feel like it's not... I don't think... You should never get upset at your audience for loving something that they came to you for. And this is another reason why VTubers should very likely not really do face reveals, because you cannot live up to the expectations of your VTuber model. I don't think so. Not a lot of women are a one-to-one to their model. Yeah, you're immersion. Or they just don't want to look at a 3D woman. They just want to look at a 2D woman with 2D boobies.
But based on everything that I've said thus far, honestly, I do not think that's fair, because this is a thing across every genre, every medium. Everybody wants well-designed, fun, good-looking, beautiful, charismatic characters. It's how we're wired, and it's why certain characters instantly spark hype online or can...
This was so hype for everyone, man. They did a really good job of putting them together. I don't think they feel out of place. Like, I could see myself finding a couple like this in Florida. And they're both fucking hot.
An aid in tanking a release before it's even out of the oven. Yes, I'm looking at you, Intergalactic. Now,
I got so much shit for saying that she's not attractive. I have nothing against women with shaved heads. I just don't think it's attractive to me as a person, as a gamer. I'm sorry. I don't think it's attractive.
Again, I am not saying every character in a game needs to look like a supermodel, but what I am so tired of seeing is characters intentionally designed to be less appealing. When the people making the decisions nerf a character's looks in a way that has nothing to do with their actual background or story, they just do it just because. It really makes no sense. It creates unnecessary dissonance, and it pulls people out of the fantasy instead of drawing them in. My last note on this here is just think about celebrities. Think about how people respond to celebrities, whether they're singers or actors. How they look, their appearance is always part of the conversation.
And unattractive actors really do get the short end of the stick, because even though they play unattractive characters for a reason and they might be really, really funny or they're really good at acting, they still get a lot of hate because they are ugly or they're not as attractive as, you know, a celebrity that's picked for that reason. Yeah, like Henry Cavill, for example. Like, he's really attractive, and he plays attractive characters, but for example, Danny DeVito, he's an ugly gremlin, and I'm sure he gets a lot of shit for being ugly. Danny DeVito, hello? Yes, and people fucking shit on him and say, like, oh my god, he's ugly and stuff. Yeah, William Dafoe can be both. I totally agree, but they're massive, massive successful actors. They still get paid? Yeah, people always shit on ugly people, ugly characters, even if they're successful. They just say, oh, well, he's just a dude that got really lucky.
And so many times, you could easily say it even contributes to their success. Even when it technically has nothing to do with what they're known for, it somehow still does. Because that's just how humans respond to other humans. We're made that way. We notice, we connect, we feel, and what we see at the first glance is the very first step of that. So, of course, while beauty is not everything, and it's
Lara Croft is a really good example of this too. Lara Croft was invented during the PS1 era, and her boobs were quite literally polygons, triangles formed into boob shapes. And people still gooned the shit out of her. Yeah, her triangle boobies changed a generation of young boys. And people still gooned the fuck out over them.
It's certainly not a substitute for good writing, gameplay, or mechanics. It's so often our very first impression, and usually it's the first thing that really captures our attention, lets us know what a character is about, and makes us care. And this is something that has always mattered and will always matter, regardless of the medium being used to tell the story. And all of this is why I just do not understand why some developers keep getting it wrong.
Because they're self-inserting their ugly self, and do you think every single... Sorry, I interrupted my own thought, but do you really think every single person that's a game designer is a supermodel or a very attractive person? No. Have you seen the people working at Jagex? They're big, fat, sweaty men that love RuneScape. Like, really? Yeah, those are the people making your video games, and that's perfectly fine, because you know what they do? Those types of people, they make the game and then they say, okay, I'm gonna put an attractive character in there because I'm not attractive, but I want the audience to have an appeal to my game. They don't want to be reminded that they're also a fat fucking idiot that wants to play RuneScape. Like, they don't put fat characters in RuneScape. Your character is just a skinny little guy. I play games as an escape from reality. That's what I'm saying. I don't want to be reminded that I'm a big fat dude eating Big Macs all day.
Really feels so simple. Yes, give us great gameplay, fun mechanics, a interesting and meaningful story, but then layer attractive, pretty characters on top of that to create hype around the game, grab our interest, and hold our attention. All of this just makes for a much more enjoyable experience. For developers who are passionate about the projects that they're making, and they're doing it for the right reasons, odds are this is probably already all included. So it really is a guaranteed formula for success. And they're shooting...
And Samus, who was just a character in an armor suit, who we didn't even get to see for a while, people still gooned over her.
Themselves in the foot if the very first thing that we see is a bland, boring, or just unappealing protagonist or cast of characters. Sorry for the outfit jump scare. This is Editor NPC here, and I was watching this back through and wanted to make sure I just clarified this point really well at the end. All right, I'll see myself out. Okay, thank you so much to those who made it to the end of this video. I'm genuinely so glad that you were here. Like I said at the start, this past week has been a bit of a whirlwind. I just want to say I appreciate everyone and your support so much. I still really can't wrap my head around everything that's happening, but
She totally deserves it. I am so sick of people saying shit like, oh, well, if you're a girl and you talk about this kind of thing, you're a grifter. I'm sure she's probably heard this a million times by now, since she, like, blew up and stuff, and saying that she's, like, a grifter who is just appealing to a male audience, validating their thoughts. It's not true. Women want big honkers. You know what one of my biggest pet peeves is? I want to play a male character in a multiplayer online game, and the character isn't attractive. Like, I can't modify them to be attractive. A male character, specifically. Because they put all of their eggs into the basket that all men want to play characters that are female, with big honkers. And I'm like, what the fuck, man? Reddit is super mad and said Aspen Kuster with a terrible audience, the kelp is huge. What do you mean? Everyone is super nice. I watched the video where he reacted to her, and the chat was, like, really nice to her the whole time. What? Why are we just straight up just lying?
Just gonna be here doing my thing like I was already planning to do. So thank you again for being a part of this YouTube journey with me.
What is wrong with people, man? It's so cringe. Reddit is just terrible. It's so funny how the polar opposite. They accuse, like, Twitch chat of being like 4chan and that they're racist and shit. But then you have people like this getting hated on for posting an opinion that everyone else also agrees with. You should leave a comment for your fan. No, I'm a fan, man. I'm a fan. Go check her out, man. What the fuck, man? Reacted to her followers after 200 to thousands in a minute. She does great videos. Yeah, and I think that there should be more women that stand up to this kind of thing of, like, the expectation that women should want unattractive characters to be fucking fat and round and big and large and in charge. I don't want to be reminded I don't want to be reminded that I look like Daw, man.